Feeling 425. Yeah. How y'all doing this morning? Feeling good, feeling fly, feeling live and alive, right? Yo, shout out to anybody that's tapping in. You can tap in, hit up the comments, and even hit the conversation if you feel like that's something you want to do and chime in. But today's actually, let me just say this. I hope and pray that all of you had a great week. You know what I'm saying? I hope your week was prosperous. Hope your only pain was a tall glass of champagne. But I had a good week, man. Wednesday I was booked on a showcase at the Stir Crazy Comedy Club, man. Shout out to Stir Crazy Comedy Club for, just providing the ambiance, the audience, everything, man. It's beautiful, man. You feel like you're in a network studio. If you're ever in Arizona, look up the shows at Stir Crazy Comedy Club because you are going to get a whole experience. Trust me. It's absolutely beautiful. And considering where it's at, man, like, because it's in a plaza. It's in a plaza. Let me just not make it like it's a bad place. It's in a plaza called the Westgate Entertainment Center in Glendale. And there's a lot going on outside. There's people like maybe have their vintage cars parked out there. There's a water fountain like thing / splash pad where the kids can go in. And there's a brewery next door. There's an axe throwing business next door. But right in the middle is Stir Crazy Comedy Club. Bro, once they close the door of the main entrance and the showroom, man, it's a whole nother world in there. I love it. I love it, man. It's flawless, man. I really hate I didn't get a video of the last show I did there because normally I try to get a video there because it's a good show. It's a good ambiance to display to a booker to see you in that aspect. Well, shout out to them. Last night I did a show in Mesa. Shout out to Bobby Johnson. Bobby Johnson puts on a lot of shows around Nevada, Arizona. If you ever see a show with Bobby Johnson on it, producing, tap in. He's a good guy. Good guy. So whenever he calls, I respond because out of respect, I definitely want to hit his stage. I know it's going to be good. So we did a show last night at the Mayor Bar and Grill in Mesa. I was in Mesa, and it was a great show. Like, this is a restaurant style, but there's a stage. There's an area for people to come and watch the show. So all of these things provide the ambiance, man. You're up on the stage, raised slightly above the crowd, but not better than the crowd. Those are the best type of shows because they get to see all of you. You know what I'm saying? So we did our thing out there. And this is that point of the time where it's like when you go in swimming, you get out to the deep end, man. It starts to perspective kicks in, like what's really real. So I've been having back to back good shows, and not to be like Murphy's Law, but always am mindful when it gets like that because that bad show is coming. But my thing is, I only want a bad show where I experience something different. I want to be trying out new material because it's not going to always hit when you first do it. It's going to take a minute, So I want to, if it is a bad show, I want it to be because of that. Not just because I wasn't feeling the crowd or I wasn't feeling me, none of that. So, that's what I try to do. I try to keep that in mind and, stretch it a little bit every set, a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Because we're going there. I'm not saying I'm Kevin Samuels or anything like that, but everybody got to get some kind of truth in their life, whatever that is, So, today we uncovering a subject that's been on my mind, man, because I've been married twice. Right? And it didn't really dawn on me till after the fact of both of those marriages that both of my wives were at least 8 years younger than me. And to compound that point, what really resonated was I was talking to the mother of my children one day, and she was grandstanding, for lack of a better word, about what she's done as a mother and what she's done as a person. And she said, "I'm almost 40," and I was like, "Wow, wait a minute, she's not even 40 yet." For the record, I'll be 47 in August, God willing. And I was like, she's not 40. My most recent wife isn't 40. And then I went to looking back at all the women I've been with in my life. I've never really dated someone my age, and I definitely haven't dated older women. Like I've had situations with older women. You know, the largest gap was when I was 17. My mom's friend was 30 years old, and she came for me. You know what I'm saying? Like just grabbing on my nuts and all that good stuff. You know the whole thing. But I gave it to her. You know what I'm saying? And I felt good about it because she was an older woman. You know what I'm saying? And I remember what happened with us. Um, all I wanted to do was get it. I didn't want to. I didn't. The other stuff hadn't even resonated in my mind yet. The being the whole, the friend, the husband, all that, whatever the inroad for her was. I never really checked to find out. I was just enjoying the moment. You know what I'm saying? So my question today is pretty simple, man. Like, do you? Let me rephrase that. What do you guys think about the age dynamic in relationships? Like, my relationship dynamics have mainly been I was the older guy, they were the younger woman. Now, does that how do you feel about that? Like, how do I feel about that? To ask myself, I did, but I want to ask you, do you believe that relationships work better if your partner's older? Age dynamics in relationships. Yeah. What is that? Let me see. Oh, so okay, I got it. Okay, he's doing that. Right on, man. Shout out to my moderator, El Pooh, today. Making things happen for the show and everything. Yeah, so because a lot of times you hear it, you hear it in the conversation. People, women, they gravitate towards more mature men in their eyes because of the stability that I guess it represents, the protection. Women love to be protected. I still don't understand fully what are they asking to be protected from, because, and I'm saying that in a theory, in a literal sense, because I can say I know what they want in far as when they say they want to be protected, but in actually providing that service, I've been terrible at it. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not standing here today as a relationship expert. Trust and believe that. But I am standing here today as being in a relationship expert, if that makes sense, because if you've experienced something, you have experience in it, right? See, this is most of the time people say, well, you can't tell me nothing. You've been divorced 6 times, like they tell Steve Harvey. You got 3 divorces, or you can't even, you know what I'm saying? But on the same token, failure is your greatest teacher. Isn't that funny how they put that quote out there saying that failure is your greatest teacher, but whenever a failure stands up to teach, nobody listens? Damn. If anybody knows about what they know about, they failed in what they knew about and they learned about it. Yeah, I just did that. You can't even repeat that. You can't even say that again. I guarantee you. But like they say, failure is the greatest teacher. But then at the same time, whenever someone that fails attempts to teach, everybody blocks him out. Oh, they don't know what he's talking about. He would be successful if he knew. Nah, that's only a 50-50 perspective. Like half of that is right, half of that ain't right. Because the wealthiest men in the country right now weren't great students in the traditional sense. They didn't go to Harvard or they didn't go to Yale. They're not Ivy League. They're just regular people that decided to make a change in their life. And the power of that change was so large, it began to affect other people's lives. See what I'm saying? So anyway, but like I was saying, when I was thinking about that, when my ex-wife said she wasn't 40 yet, and I was like, damn, because I'm just trying to figure out. I'm doing self-introspection, and you can do the same. Like, what is it about the dynamics of the relationships that I keep failing in instead of doing good in? What are the benefits and our detriments? Hey, that's a good question. That's a good question. Because in an age gap, let's go with the positive first. As an older man with a younger woman, you should be providing wisdom and guidance without judgment. Like, you don't dictate what they do. You suggest what they do. And then if they do it and it helps them, they can recall where they got that information from. And the building up of that is what builds up the trust that individual has for the older person to the point where they become a confidant, And then so older men play that role. Consequently, we want more than that. We want everything that you bring to the table as a woman, your beauty, your soft touch, and all of that. So there becomes the conflict with some women. Like, women will tell me stuff like they had an older guy, maybe 50 or 60, and like because they had put a comment on Facebook on another person, he was on their head, And so I think one of the benefit is the wisdom of an older man, but one of the detriments of it is that gross insecurity. Like, if you're not the kind of woman that nurtures ego, because you gotta, this is what I like. Now, I can't speak for what anybody else like, but it is not a deal breaker, but it's just something that moves me to the next level emotionally towards this woman. Like, if you nurture my ego, because we all got one, we all got an ego. We wouldn't be here on social media if we didn't have some sort of an ego that wants everybody to see what we are doing. You see what I'm saying? So, like, that's the thing, like if you're a woman that has the ability to nurture my ego, you got me in the palm of your hand. However, how much you need. I got all. If I ain't got it, I'm going to go get it, damn it. Trust it for you, because the way you made me feel. But see, I've never experienced as a woman what it is like to date either a younger man or older woman, because women seem to tend to do both. Some women will date a man either their age or a little bit below, but they'll date a man much older as well. So, and for us, I don't know. I never really generalized what guys go for, because I look around and it appears that a lot of older men are in relationships with younger women, just from the conversations and interactions I've had. But at the same time, me personally, I don't know if that was the best course of travel for me. Maybe I should have dated older, because I remember that moment when I was 19, when I wasn't really ready. Maybe I was 19, 18, 19, whatever. But she was definitely 30 years old. I remember that because I went to her birthday party. But I remember how I felt being with her, but I wasn't mentally equipped to continue that experience, if that makes any sense. So now that's a drawback. If a younger man chooses to pursue an older woman, that's a drawback for us, because our mental capacity may not be where she's at. And historically speaking, women mature much faster than men. Girls become women much sooner than a boy becomes a man, because in the man's journey, it's continuous, because as soon as you master the level, you get a little older and more is expected of you. See, I don't necessarily believe that women live under that same uh, guideline. Like, if you're 40, you should be this. If you're 35, you should already have done this. It may exist, but I never hear that talk among women. But as far as men, there's a whole manual and volumes and volumes of what a man is supposed to be at a certain age and what he's supposed to be doing at a certain age. So I don't know. I'm not gonna look at that from a victim perspective, but I'm gonna say that's a weighty situation for us. So it looks, for all intents and purposes, when a younger man, no, excuse me, when an older man chooses a younger woman, it's different from when a woman chooses an older man. You know, a man gets to a certain age. My father was 51 years old when I was born. 51 years old. My mother was 22. Now, you can say whatever you want about, I may look like my daddy, I may have his name, but I don't have that mentality. I already know what it is if I go and look for a 22-year-old. First of all, you got to be in shape, because she's going to want to fuck all night. And I ain't got time to fuck all night because I got to work all day. You feel me? One of the two something got to give. Either I'm gonna lay here and fuck you, or be lazy, or I'm gonna go to work, and then we may get together every now and then. And for me, even in the past, I was all in for day to day, every day. I'm still in the mindset, but the body ain't the same. So if you want to minimize your disappointments, we need to make stretched out appointments. What I'm saying. So, it could be a drawback for an older man. It can also be a benefit for a man that's seeking to find himself and he wants to recapture his youth. So he chooses this younger woman with her experiences. But on the double-edged sword side of it, he still wants to be that advisor, that counselor to her, even though she doesn't even realize he hasn't done much more than she has. It just looks better because he's been doing it longer. But y'all didn't hear me though. But yeah, man, it's just an interesting thing when you have people. Oh yeah, I got that, Pooh. Yeah, so I was thinking about it, like saying, like the ultimate situations that I've been in, the women were younger than me. Marriage is the ultimate situation in a man's journey in relationship, and woman as well. But we get stopped along the road, just to be 100, getting the pussy, or she getting yours, whatever, having sex, and then emotions creep in before they're supposed to, and now y'all at each other's head, and I don't know, but I started thinking there was a lady at my job that was like in her 60s, and I never really experienced being around older women on that level, work and stuff like that. And I started checking her out, how she thought and some of the things she did, and it just a thought in my mind, like, what if I just shot my shot and see what she would. I'm like, then the stereotypes again. Her hands are all creepy looking, and she has like extra chin right here, like it's not even fat, it's just like a turkey gobble. You know what I'm saying? Like, could I look past that to get right to what I need to do, and just enjoy the fruits of that relationship? So I hesitated on that situation, did not move forward. I just always looked at it, even up to the point where this lady gave me her number on my last day at the job. I don't know what it was for. It could have been, everything I thought it would be. Or maybe she was just trying to stay in contact with a former friend or coworker. I don't know, but I just left it at that. The phone number is still on my phone. I haven't tried to hey, would you like to go out? No, I didn't do all that. But it did cross my mind. And then, you know, you get down to the point where, okay, if I do date older, this is you thinking or me thinking, if I do seek out an older woman, what does that look like? How far am I going? Am I going into the 50s? Am I going into the 60s? Am I going into the 70s? I'm not going to the 70s. I feel like if I go into the 70s, then manipulator Louie will kick in and I'll be getting their SSI check and doing all that. Well, anyway, I'm just bullshitting. But for real though, how far am I willing to go? But at the same time, here's a thing that I always do that you probably know. I don't know if you guys ever do this, but whenever I hear someone say they're the same age as me, immediately I start studying them. Do I measure up to the average 46-year-old, or am I a little better, or am I a little less? I just look at it. That's male, female, whatever. But I don't look at them in a funny way. I look at them just in a studying way. I met a person the other day that was the same age as me. And honestly, I thought he was older than me. But it turns out he was 4 or 5 years younger than me. I was like, wow, okay. But at the same time, it's you don't look like how everybody sees you when you look at yourself. You know what I'm saying? I look at myself and sometimes I feel young. I look young, but then I look at myself in the picture and I'm like, you look 47, bro. But no, it's just one of the things I do. I study people that are the same age as me, and I want to know what they do in life. Are they married? Do they have family, grandchildren? All these things my people in my age group have now. My children are younger, so I don't have my children are probably your grandchildren's age. That's how long it took for me to even consider, number one, claiming the baby, and number two, having the baby. Because when I remember far back as I was 16 and my first girlfriend had got pregnant. Now, it could be debated whether or not that was my kid, but it could not be debated that I was indeed smashing. So I was one of the candidates. That's all I'm trying to say. I wasn't just sitting there with my thumbs twiddling them. I was, you know what I'm saying? So I took on this responsibility, and in taking on this responsibility, we aborted a child 31 years ago. And I used to, every now and then, I would think what the hell would I be doing with a 30-year-old son? Hell no, I don't even know why. God push you where he push you, man. So I've dated women right around my age group. It's very rare that I find somebody my age. That's rare. And I don't think it's really not too many. I can count on one hand the times I've actually pursued someone my exact age, But I've seen women that are in their 50s. 50's still good. It's physically, nature is kicking in. So there are going to be some things you're going to have to overlook. If you date an older woman, especially, dare I say it, if you date a older black woman. An older black woman is going to have arm fat right here. I'm just saying, man. I don't know what it is. At a certain age, women develop back fat, and sometimes the back fat can overrule what you're looking at. They may be beautiful, but because you got an extra bicep, you might look away. And I've done this. Her back, when she turn around, it looked like she wearing shoulder pads, for real, football pads. And that, I mean, no disrespect to anybody that got that situation going on. You cannot help nature. But here's where Kevin Samuels got my attention. I'm not going to say that I was a disciple, none of that. But I am going to say he said a lot of stuff I did believe that was true. As hurting as it may be, it was true. But he was saying that, no, am I going to quote him? I don't think I'm going to quote him. But I'm just going to say that the message he came with was born out of the society mindset at that point. People wanted to tell the truth, but they didn't want to say the truth because it would stop them from getting the P or the D. You know, if you in a relationship with your woman and she telling you the sex is good because she don't want to tell you it's bad, that's a hell of a situation to be in. And I find that as an older man dating a younger woman, you putting yourself in a predicament. Either you sign up for it or you leave it alone because it's gonna challenge you. I've been challenged, you know, and really mentally because they know how to pull your strings. And once they find out your strings, they hold them in their pocket for whenever they need to use them. And you have to, as an individual that's supposed to be older, you have to recognize it and act accordingly, you know. So there's a lot of mind games when you date someone younger than you. That's why, like I said, maybe I need to find somebody older because I've played a lot of mind games dating younger women. But like I said, you do what you want to do, but I think that when you date with somebody older, it takes a level of compassion, you know. Don't come in with the mindset that you can change this person because, quite frankly, you cannot put new wine in an old vessel. It won't work. You'll destroy the vessel before you destroy that truth. So keep your truth and put it where it's best received. Because once you get past that 40 threshold, your mindset becomes a little more fixated on what you already previously thought to be true. And you just evolve it into whatever that new truth is, you know? So it's like that. But as I said earlier, women typically mature faster than men. So it's only natural that a woman is going to gravitate towards an older man, even though it shouldn't always be the case. Like, I think the women that chose me probably had high hopes that were dashed because everything looks good on the other side of the grass, right? You know, the grass is always greener. But that could be true for a limited view. If you don't truly study a person before you get involved with that person, you set yourself up for failure. So I don't care if they're older, if they're younger, whatever. Do your research. Like, really do your research. You might have to go around to people that know them before you go to them. I tried that. It didn't work though. They lied. People I was going to about my last world wife was lying. You know what I'm saying? They were just trying to get her married. That's really what they were trying to do. You know, and they felt like, hey, if she chose you, I'm with it. Get it done. Because we cannot take her through no more pain and strife. Or not them taking them through it, but we cannot endure witnessing her go through more pain and strife. So, you know, they were on board. But take time to know the person before you get involved. I don't give a damn what they are, older or younger. And I'm leaning towards more, I don't know what y'all think about it. Let me know if in the comments in the chat. You know, you can chime in visibly. You can chime in either by the chat. Well, let's have a conversation about it. I mean, what do you think? Do you think it is better to get with somebody younger than you or get with somebody older than you? Or the third option could be your same age, but how rare is that? Unless you go to a high school reunion and find the one. It's hard to find somebody specifically your age, especially me. I find it hard. The ones that are specifically my age, they are married, either out of state, or they might not just be not be attracted to me for whatever reason, you know. So there's other options, but I'm not beat down by that. I'm just like, okay, all right, that's fine with me. But I have just recently I met someone that was 46 years old. Tripped me out. And, I don't know where they are in terms of what they're looking for, but from my vantage point, beautiful lady, nice looking, and just very not it was most of the most important thing for me was that how spiritually in tune she was. When you are a spiritually in tune person, your your emotions aren't centered at an individual. It's centered on an experience. And the individual just happened to be in it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a fine line because you can take that and run with it, or you can take that and grow with it, build with it, like in an empathetic state, you know, because you understand the concept of getting it from the mud to standing on the gold floors. You understand that process. So unless you see somebody laying dormant in a coffin, you never give up hope on that somebody because it could change overnight if it's right. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's better that men find women their age, but it's not a popular thought. It's not a popular thought because usually, so this guy named Unc the Hump was on the podcast. Unc the Hump, he runs with he's Mr. Fab's uncle. He's a personality in the Bay Area. So, he had a real heartfelt conversation on the podcast. And he admitted something that I probably needed to admit to myself at one point. Still probably do, but I haven't. But well, I did. But he said, he looked at the women he was looking for, the younger girls that like to have fun, and he was really catering to the part of him that didn't grow up. Wow, that's heavy, right? Like we grow up in these traumatic experiences called life, and we overcome, we sidestep, we underdip and overwhip, and come out on top, okay, but with an asterisk because we haven't addressed trauma in our lives that became the root of our choices in life. I would go as far as to say I feel like a woman choosing a man that's older than her is secretly looking for a father figure that her father maybe wasn't, or he exemplified it too well. You see what I'm saying? So when she chooses an older man, she's expecting him to be a certain way or think a certain way. But what you'll find out here, ladies, this is not always the case because the older men get just as jealous, if not more jealous, than younger men. I've heard the stories. I've been the story. I know. So we all works in progress out here. Now, as far as that, I think I've grown based on events in my life. I've grown to where I'm not jealous no more. Like you could be sitting with a guy on my couch when I come in the house. Okay, not that far. I might have to say something then, but up to that moment, like if your coworker bring you home. Now I'm talking about these are actual relations. These are actual scenarios that have happened. Your coworker hitches a ride from you, and I happen to see y'all drive by, and I'm like, yo, who the fuck? Okay, let's not do it like that, y'all. If you want to, if you're looking for a man and you don't want him to be jealous or be possessive, don't stoke the fire. That's one thing you got to not do in any relationship. Don't stoke the fire. If you know of a sensitive spot in your relationship with your other partner, be it your husband or your wife, if you know there's a specific spot that you should not touch, don't poke at it. Y'all be out here creating arguments to do what you really want to do. Like y'all go out here, like you might want to go out with your girls and you didn't know how to tell him that. So you go home and create an argument so that you have an excuse to go out with the girls. And you could have just asked them up front in the beginning. Now tell me you don't know nobody ever did that. That's one of the red flags of dating somebody younger. They always got a damn story instead of just asking for what they want. That's the difference between a mature woman and an immature woman. And, I'm only saying that not to attack women, but because I'm a man who dates women. We got to get out of that too. Every man that addresses women doesn't hate women. As a matter of fact, 9 times out of 10, we love you so much, we want to help with the correction process because we all need to be corrected. We know we're wrong, dead wrong, 9 times out of 10, but we want you not to go down the same road trying to be like us. Feel what I'm saying? But anyway, I was rambling on something. What was I talking about, Brody? Oh, he didn't walk away from the screen. Yeah. I believe, let me look this up. Let's look at these two. I'm going to look up Will and Jada. And then, oh man, I hate them. Can we get so the funny thing about life, like I said, this lady I just met this week was like 46. And then like the week before that, I met a woman, she had to be 61. And look good. I mean, black do not crack at all. But it gave me more thought. Like, okay, here's the thing. Like, the more you think about something, the atmosphere in which you go into starts to cater to that thought. Like you'll find yourself, bro, last Friday, messing with shout out to Dirty Red. Dirty Red hit me up. And initially we were going to do a comedy show and he had a spot where we can go do that. So he came and scooped me up last Friday. And we went over there, and I think every woman in there was over 45. And it was about 8 to 9 of them there just hanging out. And he was DJing. He started DJing. Music is going. The card games is going. We got a whole vibe in there. And I'm in study mode like I do. Studying everybody, how they moving, how they acting. And I started looking like, could I see myself with this one, or could I see myself with that one? I said, you know what? I think I can, because it's that time. I'm in a funny age, people. If you if you're in your 40s, you're in a pivotal position because you can date her or her daughter. It's your choice because they're both legal at this point. Especially if you date the women I know. Like I remember I said one time, shit, I should have been a single parent, a teenage dad, because they having all the fun now. Shit, it was child support wouldn't have hurt it nearly as bad when I worked at Taco Bell as it do now in my 40s. They try to take everything when they can, but um, yeah. So if you shoot me down or ignore me, I'm gonna just move on and check out who your daughter is. Your daughter 25, yeah, but that's the option, not my choice. That's the option that we have. You know what I'm saying? And being in our 40s, is that we're not limited to just talking to the mother. We can also, if the daughter want to talk, she can talk. Because it's under the same principle, older man, younger woman, you know. I know some women that dated younger, very few, but I've known some women that dated younger. I think, I will say this, and I don't want anybody to take it as a judgment, but 9 times out of 10, when a woman is dating a younger man, it's mostly for the physical. You can't tell me as a 40-year-old woman that you have a healthy spiritual conversation with a 25-year-old. No, that 25-year-old is bending you over backwards and stretching your dimensions in a way that brings back the Stella got her groove back. Basically, I can honestly say I do not believe that a 45-year-old woman right now in America is dating a 22-year-old guy with a small dick. If they're with a young man, 9 times out of 10 is purely a sexual thing. And when I say not just like y'all just meeting up and smashing, that the majority of you, if you break down your time in percentages of what are y'all doing in that time, 80% of that time y'all fucking, 20% y'all having Starbucks or dinner, wherever y'all meet up at, and the other 10% is just liking each other's Facebook posts. Keeping it at 100,000. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with an older guy and a younger woman. You do not see liking each other's Facebook posts. Keeping it at 100,000. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with an older guy and a younger woman. You do not see liking each other's Facebook posts. Oh, okay. Keeping it at 100,000. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing back while same thing with an older guy and a young woman. Hold on. You do not see liking each other's Facebook posts. Got that old man. Okay. Keeping it at 100,000. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing back while let me turn that off. Sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, man. Sit with the idea, you know. And if you are married to somebody younger than you fellas, I salute you, man. But I'm just speaking in general. What I know is that there were really, really strong points of the relationship where I felt like we were just going through the motions. This happened more times than once, so it ain't nobody in particular. But, you know, I feel like maybe if you get an older woman, maybe, you know, it'll be a little bit less demanding on the sexual tip. You know, you give them a good round 1, they ain't gonna even worry about round 2. Even though, let me just say this, man. Let me say this right quick. Ladies, y'all gotta stop disrespecting the round 2. Stop disrespecting the round 2. I mean, yeah, we here, we doing it. Now I need a break. Can I get a break? Do I gotta, what the fuck? Excuse me, I'm spitting this shit. But what is gonna be the difference if we go 20 minutes straight or do 10 now and 10 later? Or just real hard going at it 10 minutes where you climax and then you get a minute. We wait a few hours, man. That's what y'all gotta deal with, ladies. Y'all be talking that, but see, here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you though. I'm gonna tell you. Do not disrespect that round two, because you got to remember, we already got rid of round one. So we in purgatory right now. Everything is rebuilding. It ain't came back to the full. So you got opportunity to just get that massive banging, girl, for lack of better words. You finna get that, but now you gotta give me like 2 hours. Maybe even not even that. If you keep rubbing on me, maybe within the next hour. I'm just saying, like, stop disrespecting the round two. Like, y'all think, oh, it's all hell. Y'all get all hopeless and, oh no, the night is over. The night just started. Stop playing. I got that one out the way, man. You should have been right there in the pocket trying to get that one out the way. But you sitting there, you just flashed your whole life in front of you. Me and you at the altar and having 12 children in your mind. You should have been enjoying the moment, and you wouldn't feel so disrespected because I enjoyed the moment. Men enjoyed the moment. That's what we do. But just know, it ain't the only moment, because you still going to be beautiful. You still going to be fly when we get done. I just got to remember to focus back on that and get me right back where I was at in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So that was over your head. I'm sure it was, because it's more levels than what we just thought about initially, the physical. It's the whole journey, man. So it don't matter how old you are, how young you are. If you don't take time to develop your mind and then exercise your mind, you're going to fall behind. Got to do it, man. You got to do it. You got to, like, know yourself. Like, I learned myself, man, and I'm like, I've been rebelling against my natural self because I don't need no younger woman. Why do I? It's because I'm stuck on the physical. But you got to look at the whole package before you make it the whole package. You got to look at the whole thing. You got to make sure her heart is in the right place, not just in her chest, but it's in her actions. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, we don't even do that. We get caught up in looking at them girls from like 20 to 35. Them are the best years of the woman's life physically, because they're not worried about it. When they get like over 35, they're always worried about going to the gym or no. In these years right here is when a butterfly is flowered, man, fully flowered. And you could get lost in the sauce if you ain't looking past the physical. Then you find yourself divorced twice. Man, it ain't nobody's fault but yours, because you, at the end of the day, we all got choices, and men do the choosing. You see what I'm saying? Men do the choosing, so it absolutely falls on our shoulder. That is when we have failed relationships. At the core of it, it was our choice to even go there without studying it. You know what I'm saying? That part. But it's been real, y'all. I mean, you may not be watching it now, but you'll be watching it later. And just because the information that was given out today is constant relevant, because we are constantly trying to get together and stay together. But what does that even look like? Because if you're only going for the physical, you may not choose the right one. I may need a 75-year-old woman and don't even know it. Just a woman that'll stroke me every now and then. Stroke the ego. Those type of women are priceless, man, because they're taking a moment outside of themselves to see you. Not enough of that going on. Real talk. Everybody, me. Instead of we. And nobody wants a wee. Everybody wants a big dong. You know what I'm saying? So be the big dong until she say different. You know, I got this shirt on, legend in the making. Yeah, but it was a good week, really good week, man. We're looking forward to more stuff happening. We making momentum here in Arizona, meeting the right people and hitting the right stages, just being in the right mind along the way. You know what I'm saying? That's the key right there. And I've set up my mind that I want an older woman, but I'm not going to go chase it. I'm going to go attract it. You know, I'm going to go and be more stable and be grounded and just tapped in spiritually. And the universe will deliver a queen unto me. And it will do the same for you. You just got to be intentional and start to design the life that you're looking for. It's going to be pretty, it's going to be ugly at first, as it is, because it was ugly before it got to that point. You just didn't know it yet. But now you have a chance to look at it, acknowledge it, and make the right changes or make the possible changes. Because I know this much, there is somebody for everybody. But who that somebody is determines on who we are to anybody. Okay, that may not have made sense, but you get what I'm saying. Man. So with that being said, we're gonna roll up out of here. Appreciate you for stopping by. Like and share. Make a comment. And if you would like to be on the show, we cover all kind of topics. We cover all kind of topics, man. You know, this is just this today. We haven't determined what next week is going to be, but God willing, we'll be back here at 11 a.m. next Saturday. The Louie Bruce live show. This was the 420 edition, I must say. But anyway, whatever I gave you was a gift. Whatever I received from you is a blessing. So you can follow me on Facebook, comedian Louie Bruce, Instagram, it's Louie Bruce, TikTok, it's Louie Bruce. I'm on TikTok now, trying to get going. But all the social media platforms, you know, we got access to today because this is the age of information. Anything you want to know, you can find out. You ain't even got to guess no more. You can hit me directly and offer suggestions. Any show topics I could probably go into because, I mean, I'm going to put some research into it and we're going to go for it. That's just kind of person I am. I'm inquisitive by nature. I was born nosy, if you don't really understand what inquisitive means. I was born nosy, so I have no problem, you know, delving into a topic that's of reason. You know, I don't want to talk about Democrats versus Republicans. I'm not on that. You know what I'm saying? I don't get into the political arena. I try to steer clear of that because I'm not a politician. Send some sports topics we can probably put out there because I'm really specifically NBA. I can't deal with any other sport. NBA all day, and we right now in the playoffs. Shout out to the Phoenix Suns, and we go in there, bro. But anyway, any topics that could be used, man, on this show, man. We only gonna use an hour. I don't believe you should be on a podcast 2 or 3 hours, unless somebody about to mastermind a multi-million dollar deal. We don't need to be on a podcast for 3 hours. You should be able to get the information and then get back to your day. You see what I'm saying? Because that's really what it's about. Time is our most valuable resource. That's why we even determined the topic today was, should you date older or younger? But it really all boils down to what are your objectives in life and how you want to use your time. and this is specifically for the men. Yes, I know we like to be in control. I like to be in control, and I had to learn to get on the bottom sometimes because hey, the way my body anyway. But I like to be in control, man, and we all do as men. But don't let that lust for control, lust make you lust for the wrong woman. We got to think legacy. We got to think legacy. How do we want to be remembered? Or not only how do we want to be remembered because everybody's going to forget, but how do we want to develop the lineage of our legacy? See, that's a whole nother can of worms right there. We might have to come back on that because that just took me somewhere way on the next level. We're about to end it here in a couple seconds. But let's think about that, man. Like, if you're not with the woman that had your first children, are you ready to have more children with somebody else or not? All of it contributes to your legacy. Do you want to have? I do want more children, but I don't think I found the person that was going to have them yet. Or if I did find them, they're not with me right now. So we got to figure it out. But at the same time, do you guys mutually agree on that? I would think older men they want more children, but the younger will not even want children yet. Whole other dynamic of a conversation. So we only just touched the surface of today. So much more to cover, man. But let's keep it in perspective. Hit me up, Louie Bruce live show, and we gone.